Hello, welcome back to the boat shed. Today would be the 15th of May of 2024. And I don't have just a whole lot of boat stuff going on. The weather's been better, so I've been doing a lot of outside stuff, but did get a few things done. So here's the flange that I made that plate out of. Obviously it needs to be sanded and smoothed out a little bit more and before it's glued up to another new tube that I made. And of course the tube will go in there and then get fiberglassed onto that flange, and it'll be about 16 inches long. I think I need to get that tube long enough to get the exhaust hose attached to it. So in other news, I've been working on more plywood. This piece here needs one more coat of epoxy, and then it will go on here. And then I did get another piece of plywood on up there, so we've got two on up there now. So we're making progress there. That's all good. But like I said, a lot of the stuff that I've been doing hasn't been boat related here this past week or so, or only maybe semi-boat related. One of the things I was doing was trying to get the lights on this trailer working. Now this is an old boat trailer that I just put a deck on it, and I've been having problems with the lights for quite some time. So I went through and rewired it. I took the old plug I'd put on some years ago. I took this out, took it off, put a new one on there. It's got a junction box here, and then the plug into the vehicle. Put that on new, and I ran new wires back here, put new grounds in. Got it all hooked up, and they still didn't work. So, and I put new grounds back here, thinking that the grounds were probably the problem. And so I put new ground connections on, as you can see, like here, that white wire. It's supposed to use the frame as the ground. That's the idea with these trailers, in most vehicles in general, I guess. But yeah, it still wasn't working, and it was doing weird things. Just ununderstandable weird things. Like I'd have the left blinker on in the parking light on the right side would flash on and off. I mean, just weird. So anyway, I worked on that last night, and I finally gave up on it. Slept on it. Thought about it some more. And I decided there must still be a ground problem somewhere. And I got to thinking, this trailer, originally an old boat trailer, it was a tilt bed. And I got to wondering if this end of the trailer isn't electrically connected to that end of the trailer. So I ran another ground wire, this black wire here. I ran another wire all the way back here, connected it into the ground, to the light here, and then ran it across here and connected it to the ground for the light here. And lo and behold, everything worked. So yeah, I'm sure my old wiring was fine. It was just using the trailer frame as the ground wasn't working. And I don't think it's got rubber bushings in there or anything. I think it was probably just rusty and getting loose and whatnot, and so it wasn't making a good ground throughout. So anyway, so that's figured out and solved. And the reason I need to get this trailer going again, I haul my longer stuff on it, which occasionally I need. Yeah, and then I had to put a couple new tires on it. You can see there's a new tire there, and there's one on the other side too. And I got these cheap. They were like, I got two of them for 90 bucks. Of course, just the tires. So then I had to pull the wheels off, pull the old tires off the rims, mount the new tires, and then put those on there. So that was a job for yesterday too. And actually yesterday was one of those days. You know how those days go sometimes? Well, this wasn't one of those days. It was one of those days where everything went right. I mean, every job I did, I got done just boom, 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 lickety split, and everything went great, except the wiring on this trailer. But Other than that, I got a huge amount done yesterday. All sorts of different things. I got that old tractor out of this shed here, and it runs. Actually, I used it. Did some tilling in the garden. You can maybe just see a little bit of the dirt. A little bit of the dirt around the corner there where I tilled. I used to always put big vegetable gardens in, and I haven't done that in the last few years. I decided this year I wanted to put a few things in again. So, yeah, I've got a walk-behind tiller, but that ground hasn't been tilled in several years now, 2 or 3 years, so it was pretty hard. So it was nice to be able to get the tractor and till that up. But anyway, so back in here then. One of the reasons I wanted to get that trailer going was because I ordered solar panels. Primarily solar panels for the boat. Now, why did I order solar panels for the boat now? Well, I think they're probably about as cheap as they're ever going to be, and I've been looking at them periodically every few months or so. I look at prices on solar panels, and I found some 400 watt panels for 130 bucks a piece. Now there's shipping and stuff on top of that, but still $130 for a 400 watt solar panel. Just absolutely unheard of. Back when I first started in solar, you know, I've been living off grid for many years now, probably almost 3 decades. But when I first started doing this, I was using wind generators, and I'd buy a few solar panels here and there and start building up a selection of solar panels. But I was paying over $600 for a 100 watt panel. Over 600. This is 1990s money now, which would be, you know, probably over $1,000 now. And it just astounded me that I could get these panels, 400 watt panels, for 130 bucks a piece. Now, they're not the perfect situation for on the boat. I'm going to be able to get 6 of them on top of the pilot house. So that's 2,400 watts, which is a good amount of solar. And, you know, normally that's more than enough, you know, to run the household on. At least for, you know, a single person or a small number of people. But anyway, so I ordered 10 of them. So 6 of them are going to go on the boat, and 4 of them, I'm going to put 4 more in here. Because what I want to do is I got 2 systems right now. I got this system that's in the garage with these solar panels. And I got another system, my oldest solar panels, that powers a smaller system for the house. And I'm going to combine everything out here into the garage system and pretty much do away with that system over there. I will use it exclusively for the well pump. I'll keep those solar panels, leave them wired in. And it's a 12 volt system, where this is a 24 volt system. And I've got a 4 kilowatt inverter, which by today's standards isn't huge, but it's adequate for 99% of what you need. So I ordered a couple of more charge controllers to go with the new solar panels. These are Victrons. These are the 150. That's 100 volts they can take in 50 amps. So what I'll do is those solar panels are like 35 volts. So I'll double them up, put 2 in series. That'll give me 70 volts. And then 50 amps would be the amps charging into the batteries, which is more than enough for a pair of those solar panels. So I'll need 1 charge controller for each pair of solar panels. The problem is, and I didn't really, it was kind of an impulse buy. I didn't really think this through real well. I mean, I did the math on the measurements and everything, and I can get those 6 panels up on my pilot house roof. And I wouldn't be able to do that with if I went smaller solar panels. I wouldn't be able to get 2,400 watts up there, because smaller solar panels, just the frames and whatnot, take up more space. And so I thought, oh, this will work great. I can get 6 of them up there. That's 2,400 watts. That's a nice amount of solar for a boat. And I ordered them. But the problem is now, I decided to go 12 volts on the boat. Everything 12 volts. That's a decision I really can't change at this point. The reason I did that was simply to try to simplify things. So I didn't have, you know, some things running 24 volts and some things running 12 volts. And I mean, there are definite advantages to 24 volts. One is that you can get more current. I mean, these things will run at 12 or 24 volts. And so at 24 volts, you can run the same amperage through them, so you get twice as much actual power, watts, through these. So the problem is that when I get the solar panels up on the boat, if they're all 12 volts, I'm going to have a lot more charge controllers, or I'm going to have to buy really big ones, you know, if I want to combine them. And I haven't decided which way I'm going to go yet. I mean, I could go 100 amp, 150 volt, 100 amp charge controllers and probably get by with just 2 of them. But they're very expensive. They're more expensive actually than buying 6 of these smaller ones. And of course with 6 of them, then you've got some redundancy too. You know, if you lose 1 or lose 2 or whatever, you've still got, you know, the majority of your solar coming in. Where if you go with 2 big ones, if you lose 1, you've lost half your solar capacity. If you lose 2, you know, then you're SOL. So that's the downside to those big panels. I'm not going to be able to wire them in series at higher voltage unless I go with the, you know, the higher power charge controllers. So we'll see what I decide to do when we get around to putting those on the boat. But anyway, so there's 6 of them that are going up on the boat. They'll just be laying around for the next year or so. And then I'm going to build another rack out here with 4 of the remaining 4 panels. That'll be another 1600 watts I'll add out here. That'll go into the garage system. And I kind of need the trailer for picking up some lumber and whatnot again for the rack, to build another rack. Need a couple of 6x6s, and then since these actually are going to be a little bit bigger racks than those there, I'm going to go 2x8s instead of 2x6s. And these have worked fine. These have gone through 80+ mile-an-hour winds and, you know, snow and rain and hail, and they've been fine. So, but I think going just a little bigger certainly isn't gonna hurt anything. So I wanted to get that ready for that, and I'll need this for hauling some other things, other lumber and whatnot too occasionally. But so I wanted to get this trailer ready to go. Got that ready to go. My solar panels will be here tomorrow, and I'm gonna need to, of course, bury some wire and then get these charge controllers installed. And actually I already got the wire strung out there. That's the one good thing is you've got higher voltages, which the 70 volts means your amperage there's only 11 amps going through each one of the wires to these charge controllers, and then the charge controller, of course, converts it down to the 24 volts and higher amperage. But that's one of the advantages of going with this modern equipment, is you can run smaller wire. So I've got a pair of underground 12 gauge wires strung out there, so I'll be able to run that new array off just two sets of 12 gauge wire, four strands in other words. But yeah, so that's kind of what I've been working on here lately, getting other things done and getting some boat work done. Not as much boat work, but and you can maybe hear it started raining out here again. And we had a few dry days, so it kind of dried out just a little bit, but you know, they're talking rain tonight, tomorrow, and then chances of rain again. So we'll see how that goes, but the gardening might have to wait another week or so until things dry out. But I tried planting about an hour. I was going to plant some sweet corn about an hour ago, and it was just a little bit too wet for that yet. So it's going to need to dry out just a little bit more, then I'll probably hit it with the tiller one more time and then see if we can get it planted. But yeah, that's what I've been up to this past week. I'm trying to think of anything else that I've been working on or contemplating. I guess not really. So yeah, well, we'll leave it at that for this week, and I'll talk to you again next week.